shoot a lot of movies recently in Glasgow, like Hollywood come to Glasgow because they've got this in the town. They've got this grid system which kind of looks a lot like American cities. Yeah, they filmed World War Z, the zombie movie here, and so George Square that we just passed there was Philadelphia for a couple of months. They just changed all the street signs, and made it look like Philadelphia.
We could love you if you need somebody to love you.
The energy in the band feels great at the moment. It feels really strong, and
yeah, my energy level's a bit down today. I was out last night. But generally, yes, I think it feels amazing. The band feels really fresh and crisp and really tight and rock and roll. It's great.
This time, same as before. Love you forever.
Because we'd had a break, then the energy had returned. You know, we were kind of like, "Hey, what have you been up to? You know, nice to see you."
I've written loads of songs.
Yeah. I feel like I chose to be in the band again, in a way, rather than just it's been like a conveyor belt. Next one. You go, oh my god, I'm trapped. It's more kind of like, you have a break and you're like thinking, oh, actually, yeah, I think I'd like to make another record. And it's like, you're there because you want to be.
You feel like you have a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
we formed our band to play at a party in Glasgow. That's what we did when we started off. We thought we were going to play parties in Glasgow. We didn't expect to play at Glastonbury in the morning. Never mind be here 10 years later talking about playing at Glastonbury in the morning.
I should probably get that. Listen to it.
What do you think? Was it worth the waiting? The new Daft Punk record?
I think it's great, yeah. I mean, I've heard it everywhere. I've heard people listening it in their car, and I've heard it on the radio. It's just Daft Punk. I'm hearing it everywhere. It's supposed to be the most hi-fi record that's come out in recent years. Like, just test out your turntable.
Sweet, sweet love, elevation. Outside, fresh shower aside, but inside alone, you'll be out.
It's not a scene in that respect. I mean, none of the bands sound like each other, but we all know each other because it's very small. So, we all know Mogwai and who did you mention? Aerogram. Yeah, I know them as well. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I used to work with them in bars and stuff like that. So, yeah. So I mean, when you've got like sort of like-minded people from around about the same age group in a fairly small city, they're all going to know each other. So. But we don't sound like each other at all.
Every band that you listen to sounds completely different than the other one. None of them really sound the same, or very seldomly. Not like from other cities in the UK where they all sound the same.
yeah, like Liverpool or Manchester.
Yeah, both of them.
But didn't you move to Glasgow because you'd heard about the reputation?
Yeah, and I knew someone in Munich, and she was a great musician, and she told me that Glasgow was the place for music. Yeah.
It's not a massive city, and of course, so people are going to socialise, and there's going to be a bit of cross-pollination. Like, for example, I played in a band with Mick Cook, who played in Belle and Sebastian, and so while Franz Ferdinand is very different from Belle and Sebastian, we knew each other. I gave Mogwai their first ever gig when I used to put on bands in the 13th Note, and Franz Ferdinand's very different from Mogwai, but we still socialise with those guys, and I think that relates to what Nick's saying. Like, even though you socialise and you're from the same kind of a scene, it doesn't mean you want to have the same sound of music. Whereas in other cities, I get the impression that nobody wants to hang out with each other, but they all want to sound like each other.
What's your favourite song on the Daft Punk album? That's it.
In the 90s, I used to do a club called the Kazoo Club. 2 clubs. I did one called the Kazoo Club on a Tuesday night and one called the 99p Club on a Thursday night. And loads of bands played. But the best bands you would never have heard of, like bands like Trout or the Poison Sisters or the Stanleys, you know. These are bands that disappeared into the ether that never really made records. But then there were some that made it through, like Mogwai or Bell and Sebastian. Stewart played down there with those songs that became Bell and Sebastian songs solo way before Bell and Sebastian got together. I'm trying to think what other bands that did a little bit but maybe weren't huge, like Urusei Yatsura or Lung Leg and Biss. I don't know if you knew those guys, you know. Yeah, to me it's always been fertile, you know, there's always been good stuff going on. But also parallel scenes as well, you know, like there was the Slam guys and then there was the Optimo guys, and there was always an electronic scene going on, like guys like DJ Q and that sort of stuff, and Out of the Churches kind of thing, you know. Yeah. And then Chemical Underground too, you know, like Chemical Underground had that, and there's still a very distinct Chemical Underground kind of a scene.
But it's just convenient for people to just go, all right, okay, that's an art school band, and you know, so we have to live with that, really. There's nothing we can do about it.
I wonder if that does that mean that everything that I do is an art school or something. So when I like take my dog for a walk, it's like an art school dog walk.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you need somebody to love you while you're looking for somebody, we're all looking for somebody. We're all looking for